Dear Journal, today I saw the infamous pickle. It was so long and so big. I couldn't believe it. It was scary at first, but after a while, it seemed like I could actually do it. I could actually beat him. It was weird though. The longer I played with it, the harder it got. It got really weird when it got angry and turned all bulgy and red. I don't understand the hype around this pickle monster. Maybe it's because... And I'm going to be blunt. It just looks like a big green dick. Pidgey hunts. Welcome back to another Monster Hunter Journal. This is where I go through Monster Hunter World, my first Monster Hunter game for the first time, and document my entire journey. If you're up for that, be sure to subscribe and like the video and follow along the story. This week, we had some big steps. We broke last week's wall. We took on some legends, but I have to say, because I didn't do my grind stream over the weekend, it feels like I didn't make as much progress as I usually do. So this week was a little bit of grinding for half the stream, and then we took on 3 new monsters this week. So I got to fight Uragon, I got to fight Nigel once again, and we ran into the infamous Pickle, the Deviljho, as everybody has been saying, ho ho ho, I can't wait until he fights Deviljho. Well, I fought him, and I beat him, so... how cocky should I be about this? But I'm going to try to stay somewhat humble as best as I can. We're going to leave that towards the end. But let's get started with starting up. So last week, recap, we fought Nergigante, and we being me, got destroyed. It wasn't completely unexpected. In fact, I did a lot better than I thought because I was under equipped. I went in with no preparation, no understanding what this monster was capable of, and I just did not have a really good armor set. So step one, I also didn't have a really good switch axe. So step one is I went through all the armor and I took the time, I ignored defense, I looked at skills, and I went through skills on stream of every kind of piece of armor, and we wish listed the ideal piece of armor that I wanted. But basically when I had all that, we also picked a switch axe, something that I could grind out quick. So I know a lot of people are saying like, oh, get Rathalos this or Odo this. It was probably the better option, but honestly, I did not want to do a grind stream on a Thursday, and I knew that I am not at a point where I can grind Rathalos and all that very easily. So that's why I opted out for a lot of things that use the Great Jagras set, because A, the skills and the switch axe of the Great Jagras are actually quite good for what I was looking in comparison, and B, I can grind out Great Jagras pretty quick. And in fact, we killed him so many times, the Great Jagras is probably terrified of me when he sees me come into the forest. So we did a bunch of that. While we were grinding for the Great Jagras' pieces, someone recommended, hey, while you're doing this, you might as well try another weapon just to have fun with it. And I was like, oh, I had a lot of fun in Monster Hunter Rise's second playthrough, which... preview alert, I'm going to have a second impression of why I will probably buy Monster Hunter Rise. That video is going to come out sometime soon. Anyways, in Monster Hunter Rise, I was really, I found the longsword really cool, and especially after seeing someone play it, that you can like sheath it and like pull it out. I was like, okay, this is samurai gameplay that I wanted the first time I played the demo. So I'm like, how does it play in World? So went into a few Great Jagras fights with the long sword, and at first, yeah, it's unsatisfying when you don't know what to do. You're hitting Y and B, aka the top button, the right button, and you're just like going boop boop boop, or like poke poke poke. But then you start like using the trigger button, and that's when you're starting to do like these whooshes and stuff, and that's really cool. I couldn't do a sheath, but I could do like the trigger and the B, which like steps back and then like does a huge like swooshing arc from like the side. Felt very Sephiroth like. That move and all of that felt fantastic. I love that stuff. Now, there was another move. I was kind of like trying to do combos as I was going, and there's one like I learned that you have to like fill the sword gauge, and then you can unlock like some kind of like Bushido mode or something. And there's a part where like you can just go like you like slice the air, and there's like a resonation, and then you can like jump and like bring down the sword again, and it just creates like shockwave and destroys everything. I'm like, oh my goodness. I think I love this, but then everyone's like, don't do longsword. There's so many longsword streamers out there. That didn't affect me as much as when I spoke to a, what do you call it, a Wyverian, like an old hermit cat thing. It's not a cat, it's a guy with long ears. And I was in the desert, and I talked to him, and he was like, You are a switch axe user. That is the 10th most popular weapon. The most popular weapon is a longsword. I was like, oh, really? The longsword is what everybody likes to use? Okay, I'll stick with my, switch axe that no one seems to like. Oh, and they're like, the hunting horn is the worst of the is the least favorite of the weapons. I was like, well, we all knew that already. But I didn't know the switch axe ranked so low in the Monster Hunter World weapon guide. So that was a lot of the beginning of the stream, a lot of that grinding. Once I got some of all of that armor kind of bumped up, we also got a bunch of orbs in them, so my defense went up. We went after our first new monster of the week, which was Uragan, aka Jay Leno, aka Big Chin. This guy was... I forgot that he kind of had the what do you call it? The bagel effect, where like he drops the mines. So he was basically like the last rolling monster, but now he's dropping off bombs everywhere. And he like crouches and pulls out a hot sauna on you, which is really unappreciated because it hurts. So overall, it was a fun fight. I like fighting big monsters. The bigger they are, the better. Except the pickle monster. He was too big. I couldn't do anything. He was just too high. So he was fun to fight. He got a little annoying at the end when he was just like constantly rolling and I didn't know how to stop him from rolling. So I was just like, okay, run this way. No dodge. Okay, run. And then it was just like a matter of getting those final hits on him. That was kind of a pain to get. But we did it. And then I was getting ready for my huge rematch with Nergigante, and everyone's like, no, go for the pickle, go for the pickle. And I was like, all right, if this guy is such a big deal, let's go for it. Let's go see what it is. And we pretty much narrowed it down to, okay, we're in the forest. There's an unknown monster that spawned there. It has to be him. So I went out and saw it. And I really, I don't know, there was like, I have been hearing about Deviljho since I think the very first journal I put out. So this one has had the most legend around, even more than the B, like it's up there with the B-52. So I was like, the B-52 kind of was a disappointment because I met it the wrong way. I was like, is this another case where I'm meeting the pickle the wrong way? And what is a pickle? I legit thought that the first time I would, when I started hearing about a pickle monster, I legit thought it was going to be like a small cactus sized monster disguised as a pickle that you're like, oh, it's cute, and then it just savages like destroys you. So I mean, through the weeks, I eventually caught wind that it was a long, slender, green monster, but I hadn't seen it in game yet. So I went in there and I saw it at a distance, and it was like, it just entered the forest. And I was like, oh, that's a pretty big monster. I see the pickle resemblance. I get why we call it a pickle. It's really long. And I said that a lot of times during the stream. I just couldn't get over how long it was. So we had to fight in the forest. And I was expecting, again, another thing of like, this thing is completely out of my class. I'm forgetting that I think I'm like I'm not in the end game, but like I'm in the later half of the game. So I don't think we're going to ever get to a point again where there's that gap of like when I met Anjanath for the first time and I didn't even know how to like use items and my weapon. Like that skill gap was massive. So the first time I hit Anjanath and I didn't know what to do, that was terrifying. So I'm always expecting that skill gap whenever I approach these legendary monsters. And I was surprised that when he hit me, it didn't do as much damage as I thought. I was like, okay, I'm going to start like smacking it around. I was like, hey, it's been 5 minutes and I'm not dead. And that's when like hunter mode engaged. I was like, I'm going to kill the pickle. I'm going to go for this. And like, just to tell you how unprepared I was, I went into that fight without eating because I'm like, I'm not going to waste some food. I'm just going to see what it is. I'm going to poke it and then I'm going to run away. But I was like, no, I think I have a chance here. And then I just started like going after the pickle and I was learning to like lean towards him, which we learned from Diablos. And then he got like red and bulgy. And I was like, oh my God, the innuendos are just, there's so many of them. Like just lame people would make jokes about that at this point. Like, it's just too easy. It's big, it's long, it's green, and it gets bulgy. Come on. So that mode was intimidating because now it was unappealing. It was clearly enraged, and it was just like being extra aggressive. It's so high and so tall you can barely reach it. It just like jumps near you, and you're constantly stunned. I honestly don't know how I beat it. But I guess I managed to dodge enough times and land enough hits. I had my new axe at this point. So my switch axe got a massive upgrade from the one I've been using for the last few weeks. So there was that. I was dealing more damage. I don't think I was using the switch axe properly. So last week I started using sword mode a lot more. Now I'm using sword mode too much that apparently I was like causing myself to have this like recharge thing happen. So now it's back to kind of finding that delicate balance of switch and axe. And I think maybe the pickle monster was the first time I was like trying to find that balance. Anyways, it was a decent dance, but it didn't feel as triumphant as, let's say, Diablo or Anjanath. And then he was limping. I was like, can I capture this thing? And I'm like, trap. It was trapped. And I was just like doing the whatever, the intoxication stuff. What's it called? Tranquilizers. And down he went. I was like, oh my god, I just captured the pickle. I fainted once, but I couldn't believe it. And last week, Gaijin Hunter came into the stream. He's like, ha ha ha, I am Gaijin Hunter. And I'm sure he does not sound like that. I know he watches these journals, so apologies. I'm not trying to mock you, but I'm trying to like say how great you are. So Gaijin Hunter comes in and he's like, if you face the pickle and if you can actually beat him on your first try, I will give you a pickle trophy. And I was like, oh my god, a pickle trophy from Gaijin Hunter. I need that, please. So when we fought it and I actually captured it, I'm like, oh my god, Gaijin. And actually a lot of people in the streamers like went to Twitter and they're like, Gaijin, yo, hey Jay, a pickle. And he came into the stream and he gifted me the pickle. This is terrible. What is this pickle's name again? Deviljho. He gifted me a Deviljho statue. Unfortunately, it only unlocks in Iceborne, so these are statues you can buy as DLC and you can put them in your room, so I don't even know what it looks like. But when I get into Iceborne, which I absolutely must now, I will have my own Gaijin Hunter donated Deviljho monster to commemorate one of my highlights. And on this entire journey, that is a highlight. That is one of my greatest highlights, that Gaijin Hunter came. And not that he just came and gave me a trophy, but the fact that he came to acknowledge one of my greatest triumphs that totally happened by accident. And maybe some skill, a little bit of skill. So with that rush, I'm like, all right, it's Nergigante time. And I just went in. I was like, we're going in. And like, I'm here. Like, I just jumped into the fight right away with the same armor and everything, that, because I'm like, if this setup is good enough for Pickle, it's way good enough for Nergigante. And like that like really like dark music starts up, and I was like, like last week was like, oh no, scary music. This week it's like, feed my soul with Nergigante music as I destroy and pound him. And I was like swinging, and then he killed me. I was like, oh no, last week was a fluke. I'm not good enough. Then I came back, and then the spikes got dark. I was like, oh no, the spikes of darkness. I don't know how to stop them. And then I saw the dive bomb. I actually know what the dive bomb is. So I'm like, okay, dodge. But he was still hitting me, but it wasn't hurting as much because I had the defense. And it was just, he was a lot faster than the pickle. He was a lot more scary and intense than the pickle. I think I had more fun with the Nigel fight. And then I saw, if I was too far, how he would like flex his wings and the spikes would grow. I was like, aha, that's how I stop you. I just have to be like on top of you to stop. And then we like cut off the tail. I was like, yes, success. We actually did things. Oh, by the way, my switch axe goes to blue now and it glows blue. It's like a lightsaber. It's really cool. So just having that axe is just so much better. Anyway, so we kept fighting it, and then I killed it, of course, and like destroying two monster gods in my like little Monster Hunter universe just felt amazing. And I was like, yes, this is a rush. Let's go. This is why we play this game. And then story progressed. So now I know I'm set up to fight. We got to track and we got to hunt down 4 other Elder Dragons, because Nigel feasting over there scared everyone away, and everyone's kind of rampaging and doing crazy stuff. And I'm like, this is the kind of story nudge I need. Hey, there are 4 Elder Dragons out there. You just fought one. You saw how terrifying it is. There are 4 more. They're out there. You have to find them and you have to kill them. Go have fun. That is all you need in a Monster Hunter, like an actual story. So I'm really excited to begin my hunt of the Elder Dragons. I'm pretty happy and confident with the armor set I have, so I don't feel like that's going to be a lot of a roadblock. It's just a matter of finding them, observing them, understanding how they move, and then just getting good at killing them. And we can just go through this so we can get to our ultimate goal of rolling the credits. And then we can go on to our second journey, which will be Iceborne. I can feel it coming. It's getting close. So it's been a wild ride. There's a lot of highs. I'm on a high right now, and Usually highs are kind of are followed by lows. So we'll see what happens in the next coming weeks. The great thing is I have no idea what the next monsters are. Nobody has really teased what's coming up. I don't know anything about these other Elder Dragons. I haven't seen them. I don't know their names. I don't even know what they look or feel like. So I'm super excited to just take on some unknown monsters, be scared, and then fumble my way through a victory. And that's my Monster Hunter Journal for this week. Thanks for joining. I'll see you all on the next journal. And until then, keep it classy.